Hey everybody, Jared Bendis here, and today I'm going to be making some mother's pudding. Now, mother's pudding sounds really yummy, except it isn't for me. It's for my dog who just had puppies, and she's the mother, and she needs pudding. Now, this pudding, which is great for new puppy mothers, is completely human safe. It's a little expensive, but it's completely human safe, and I'm going to go through the step-by-step process of what it is to make mother's pudding. And by the way, it's kind of yummy. So we're gonna go through the dry ingredients first, and the dry ingredients are 1 package of vanilla jello pudding. Now, and very important that when we do the vanilla pudding, that this is the cook and serve. Do not use instant pudding. Instant pudding has got the wrong chemicals in it for the dog. More importantly, double check that it's regular pudding, that there's no artificial sweeteners in it. Remember, the artificial sweetener of xylitol will kill your dog, so you don't want to use that. But more importantly, you just want to make sure you know exactly what's in it. So this is good old-fashioned, regular cook and serve vanilla pudding. Now, normally you would need milk with this, but we're going to get back there in a second. So let me come over here, and I'm going to put my dry ingredients in a bowl. I've made this before, and I kind of threw everything together at once. And I'll be honest with you, it's a better idea to put your dry ingredients in separately than your wet ingredients and mix them properly. It'll make your life a lot easier later on. So I'm going to come over here and just throw that in there. As for the directions on what it is that I need to do to this, I'll explain it all in a moment. So there you go. Oh, it smells so good. I love that vanilla pudding smell. Now the next ingredient, which could be a wet ingredient, but today it's going to be a dry ingredient, is goat's milk. Now, if you can get fresh goat's milk, God bless you, but I live in the city and they won't let me own a goat. And trust me, if I could own a goat, I would own a goat because it'd be a lot of goat's milk. So instead, I am using powdered goat's milk. Now, there's nothing wrong with powdered goat's milk. It is really absolutely goat's milk, but I need 4 cups of goat's milk, which would be 4 cups of water mixed with, and let's see, it says to make 1 cup, mix 1/4 cup of, or 4 tablespoons of powdered goat milk to 8 ounces of water. So if I need 1/4 cup of this for 1 cup, that means I need 1 cup of powdered goat's milk. So let me come over here and add 1 cup of this, and then later on, my wet ingredients, that'll make 4 cups of wet, which is the 1 cup, 1/4 cup, 3/4 cup, third of a cup. I'll do 3/3 of a cup. That'll make my life a little bit easier. You know, you can never find the measuring cup you're looking for, right? Even though I have like multiple sets of measuring cups. All right. Now you can get this in your refrigerator section. You can also get this canned. So however you get it. But at the end of the day, you need 4. The reason, by the way, that I'm not using the cans, which I used the last time I used the cans, but the cans will make like 6 cups of goat's milk, and then it's kind of a weird, odd thing. And I want to make exactly what I need here. So I'm going to come over here and give myself exactly 1 cup of goat's milk. All right, or at least 1 cup of powdered goat's milk. Oh, it smells so good. So there you go. Now, the reason I say that this is expensive is because this is expensive. So there you go. So now that I've added that, my last dry ingredient is sugar. Now, the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup of sugar, but I'm going to put in 3/4 of a cup of sugar because I'm going to be actually adding pumpkin to this. And I add a lot of pumpkin, so I want to make sure I add a little bit more sugar than I normally would. All right, so let me mix these dry ingredients together. What I have is 3/4 of a cup of plain old white sugar. I have 1 cup of the powdered goat's milk, and I have 1 package of cook and serve vanilla pudding mix. And again, regular vanilla pudding mix. Make sure there's no artificial sweeteners. We want regular sweeteners in here. So there you go. That's what I've got all nice and mixed together. Those are my dry ingredients, and I'm going to set those aside. Now for my wet ingredients. My wet ingredients are really 3 wet ingredients. Water, which I'll add in a moment, 4 egg yolks, and 1 can of pumpkin. Now the 1 can of pumpkin, not everybody uses the 1 can of pumpkin, but my dogs are obsessed with pumpkin. And it's also nice and hearty. It's gonna thicken this up really big, and I like that. So I'm gonna add the pumpkin in there. Also 1 can is perfect. In case you're wondering, 1 can of pumpkin, and by the way, not pumpkin pie mix, 1 can of pumpkin, 15 ounces of pumpkin, 1 can of pumpkin. That's basically what I'm gonna be putting in here. All right, so I've got to put together the egg yolks first. And I don't know about you, but I am not great at separating eggs. So I went out and I bought a brand new egg separator just to make this work. Also, I'm not going to be wasteful. When I'm done, I'm going to make an egg white omelet, but that's separate and that's for me. All right, here we go. Now, if I was making meringue, I would have to be crazy careful that I don't get any of the yolk into the white. But because I'm really just looking for egg yolks, I'm a little less concerned than I would be. I really want to make sure that I just get most of the yellow. And there you go. So, come on. Patience when separating eggs is a virtue. There it goes. Beautiful. So that's one. With all these egg yolks in here, what we're really making is a custard. And I'm fine with that. I love custard. Two, three, and four. Egg whites I will whip up into a nice little omelet later, but in the meantime, let's get back to the mother's pudding. 4 eggs. And on top of that, I need 4 cups of water. The water, by the way, is not cold. You want to use like a lukewarm water. And to that, I'm going to add the can of pumpkin. Got almost all of it out. All right, so my wet ingredients is water, pumpkin, and 4 egg yolks. Now I slowly add our dry ingredients. Let's double check that nothing is solid in here. Everything looks pretty liquidy to me. Everything looks pretty much well dissolved and beaten up. I don't see any chunks of egg. I don't see any chunks of pumpkin. And I definitely don't see any chunks of powder. Well, there's a couple little bits in there, which I'll smooth out in a second with this. So let me stir it up just a little bit more, and then we'll go to cook it. I'm gonna cook this over a medium heat. You don't wanna put this over a low heat. You think you do, but you don't. You need it over a medium heat. And basically, you need to cook it until it starts to boil. And if you know anything about milk, you'll know the only way to do this is to make sure that you're stirring it constantly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stir it constantly until it starts to get nice and bubbly. Now, I'm not going to lie, it takes forever to get this stuff to boil. Probably because of the pumpkin, but it is worth it. It is worth doing this way. It tastes so yummy good, but I'm doing it over a medium heat and I'm cooking it slowly. And that's what you're supposed to do. So don't worry about how long it's going to take. You're just going to keep stirring and listening to music and thinking, oh my God, how long is this going to take? But it's worth it. And if you're really, really good at multitasking, you can make that egg white omelet while you're waiting. That looks so good. All that's in the pan is butter and egg whites. And I like my egg white omelet a little bit crispier than you probably do. So you'd have pulled yours out already. And I know it's not very pretty, but oh, it tastes so good. And of course, with the other hand, I'm still stirring, which is fine. Look at that, though. It's beautiful. And it's getting really close to boiling. You can sort of see that any minute now it's going to start to bubble up. And once those bubbles start to form, then I know that everything's cooked together nicely. I'm gonna take it off the heat, and then I'm gonna scoop it out into my waiting cups. And I'm gonna scoop it out into 3/4 cup containers. I did 1/2 cup before, but I know that the dog eats a little bit more than that. So I'll see how many portions I get. I'm guessing I'll get between 8 and 10 portions. I'm guessing. I had 13 1/2 cup portions, so we'll see what ends up coming out this time. There it is. You can see it thickening up. I pause for just a second. It starts to bubble up. So yeah, so I'm here. I'm where I need to be. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it stir just a couple more seconds. And you can really feel it thickening up and see that beautiful. That looks so good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it. I'm going to take it off the heat. And then the trick is I've got to make sure it cools just a little bit before I start to scoop it out, but not so much that it really starts to set. So come over here and, all right, it's off the heat. It's still cooking, you know, because it's still warm. All right, so now I've got to scoop it into containers. And when it's cool enough, I get to eat it, and so does my dog. So I ladle into my 3/4 cup measure. All right, and then I pour it into the cup. Voila. Everything's measured out, and lots to clean, but no mess to clean, just utensils, which I like. It makes my life a lot easier. So I've got about 8, maybe 9 servings at 3/4 cup, and it's a really decent amount. I mean, this is 3/4 cup of the pudding, which I'll put in the fridge to cool after it cools enough to put in the fridge, but I do have a little bit left over here myself. And remember, this is completely human safe. Eggs, goat's milk, vanilla pudding, sugar, and pumpkin. Oh, that is perfect. When I made it the first time, I only used the 1/2 cup of sugar. And again, most people don't put pumpkin in it, so it wasn't enough. And so it was like really, really pumpkin-y and it needed just a little bit more sweet. So that 3/4 cup of sugar, that extra 1/4 cup of sugar really, really made it work with the pumpkin. And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna eat the rest of what's in this bowl. This is for the dog. Now, from a human perspective, this is a little expensive because the goat's milk, but the dog, she's nursing. She really needs the calories and the things that goat's milk has to offer. So it's absolutely yummy, but probably a little more expensive than you're going to make, unless you've got access to fresh goat's milk, which would be awesome, which I don't. But again, 3/4 cup of mother's pudding. Awesome stuff. My name's Jared Bendis. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. And by all means, comment. Tell me what you think. If there's something I've done wrong, let me know. I'm not a professional cook. I'm just an enthusiastic amateur. But I will tell you this stuff tastes good. And as always, please be sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Ooh, and share. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. Ooh, and comment. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. Yeah, that's right. Do it all. Thank you.